Welcome to PGL with Broxah, with Humanoid, and with Trimby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stressful? How stressful?
Probably like a 7 out of 10, I would say.
Only a 7?
It was 8 or even 9 for me for sure. Like,
yeah?
It was really. I don't think I had like a bracket like this throughout the years to qualify to Worlds, so that's was a bit tricky.
Yeah, you were shouting really, really loud. I think the casters were saying that they're wearing the headsets like similar to yours, like it's hard for them to hear, but you especially were very fired up. Is
like,
that true?
During the fifth game?
The fifth game.
Okay, like when we started shouting, everyone started shouting, then yeah, I went with it. But yeah, hopefully I was not too loud when, during the games.
Well, tell us about the team fights in Game 5. They seemed a bit more straightforward than the ones before that, Humanoid.
Yeah, I mean, they basically just play, like both teams just kill the tanks, usually. You just hit the front line. I have no idea what my team was doing. I was just kind of looking at myself and just hitting the guy that was in front of me. And yeah, somehow we won. I guess we have just more damage to tanks in this game, so I think that made it easier.
And the Trist, how important was the shift to Tristana in Game 4 and 5?
Yeah, I guess since they were just picking like really tanky champions all the time, I had to play like something that has DPS, and I guess should have picked it like earlier, but yeah, it worked out, so it's fine.
Maybe, but Humanoid, you actually haven't missed Worlds since you kind of had a chance to go to Worlds, and now at the very least you'll be playing the Worlds qualifying series. So does that in those moments, do you just think like, oh, you know, are you in a way like a bit calmer because you know that usually you make it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I really like Worlds. I think it's like the most fun. I always have the most fun playing this tournament, like way more than anything else. So it's always really important. And yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that we were gonna win as well, just because I feel like I always make it, and it also happened, even though it was pretty close. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty important for me to make it all the time.
Yeah, of course. Trimmy, for you the same, of course.
Yep.
You know, it's like at least you play versus Golden Guardians, but maybe you can make it to the rest. What does your gut tell you?
I would really like to go to Montpellier, because
Nice.
the same feeling, like at least I can imagine it will be similar feeling like in Malmo. So yeah, I don't think I want to miss that one for sure. And one good thing is that, yeah, I think both me and Marek know how it is. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, 3 people of our team knows how it is to be in Malmo. It was really nice. So yeah, I don't think, yeah, we're letting that, yeah, letting that go.
I'm glad you brought it up, because Montpellier is right around the corner.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here wondering, though, still about, you know, the middle of the series, because you guys played very different in Game 4 and 5 after, you know, Game 3 happened and everything. Like, was there, you know, anyone doing a big speech before Game 4? Like, what were you guys saying backstage when you realized that you couldn't afford losing games anymore?
Our coach, like, we started talking about how we want to play the transition between early game and like mid game, kind of, where I think we just were lacking this kind of connection, like especially between me and Ivan. And that's why an enemy team could always find like random kills. I don't think it was like, you know, that big, but you know, when everyone else, like in Game 4, for instance, when we all the time played together and all the time were like trying to track everything we did and we did it together, it felt like they didn't have like much chances in early, especially when we would get ahead. So that was something that made us go even stronger going into mid games and later games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously jungle support is always super, super important. Do you feel like you've had a lot of ups and downs in your synergy with Razor throughout the year?
I think this, yeah, like having only one split to like figure it out how to play is also not that easy, especially when for me, the meta shifted, I would say, from like more, you know, enchanterish to like engage supports.
Yeah.
And well, I was always known for the enchanters, I guess, and didn't play that much of engage. So it was not easy to like think. I went through this already once, but you know, I was never really having so much knowledge that I have now. Comparing it to like 2 years ago when that meta happened, where, you know, now it helped me when I had this much time to go into every single series. The fact that we had like so much time helped me realize how I want to play those champs and just, yeah, figure it out if I want to play them or not.
Yeah, forgive me, it actually wasn't a complete year. It wasn't actually that long.
Yeah, it was one split.
Yes, one split only. But when you can have moments like this where obviously you make it work in a game 5, that I think propels you forward. On the other side, though, was Excel, and we're about to see, I believe, an interview with Odo. But of course, Odo was on the other side. Is there anything you want to say about it? Because this is, of course, a pretty sad moment for Excel and for Odo.
I mean, at the end of the day, both me and him were like the only one standing, right, from the Rogue lineup, like this year for Worlds, I mean. So, yeah, it's not... I can, you know, if I would lose, like, I know how would... I can imagine only how I would feel. So it's just not easy. Like, it was one of us could win and one of us would lose. And it just fucking sucks, like for both of us, that this split happened to be this way, that we both had to do kind of miracles in order to even get where we are. So yeah, that's not... I don't think he deserves it to be this way, but on the other hand, I think Oscar played really fucking well. So, you know, I can't say, you know, he's my friend, but Oscar really was doing good today.
He was smurfing for sure, but unfortunately, that's a goodbye to Excel and Odo, and Lore is standing by for an exit interview.
Thank you very much, Shox. And Odo, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me after this series that, of course, doesn't end the way you guys expected. What did it come down to in this Game 5, whether it's in drafts, the approach you had, or in its game itself?
Yeah, I mean, usually when you play like such a long series, going through like 5 games, some sort of like meta kind of develops in between the teams. And for us, it was just like, you know, it seemed like all the games are just going to be, you know, front to back, objective setups and stuff like this. And I think we're just a little bit careless. I think the fight in Game 5 where we lost Nashor was just kind of like a result of, you know, us being a little bit impatient, because I think we just looked for a fight when it was really not our time to look for a fight. And yeah, I mean, the Fnatic dead ball worked, going as 5 mid worked. We fell into it and they just took over the game. I think when they have Tristana mid, if you drop the ball like we did in mid game, she's gonna take over because she just accelerates so much with gold. I think our Ahri answer was good, but then we started inting. And they got the Nash, and I think after that it just snowballed out of control. There was no way to get Tristana out, and also they had so many threats that it was kind of like hard to pinpoint everyone. I think, yeah, I think our teamfight execution was a little bit off, because I think at times frontline and backline were a bit too split up, and yeah, we were just kind of inting.
We mentioned the fact that last week against Mad Lions, it didn't look good in preparation in draft, in what you guys were doing in game. This week was much better though, but for the past 2 weeks, how do you reflect on the preparation you had and the way you approached the patch overall?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit weird, because I feel like going into the Mad series, or like, you know, after we lost against G2, we're like, okay, so we got 3-0'd, so a lot of the things we were doing were wrong in terms of like prio and everything. So let's flip everything and try something else. And we started doing a new play style. Versus Mad, the same thing happens. We get 3-0'd. We're like, okay, this doesn't work again. So let's flip it again to something completely different. And I don't know. I just feel like in a way we kind of lost our the thing that made us like good. Even though today was 3-2, I feel like I don't know. Ever since the patch changed and the final against G2, we just kind of started losing our mojo in that sense, because we were like, feel like we weren't really sure what was really good anymore, and we were just trying to mix and match and make things work. And yeah, I think coming into today, I feel like we're not really flexible enough to how we were before, so that's why we lost.
Well, regardless of everything, and of course I understand that it's difficult for you to see the positives after a series like this, but you took it as far as you could, and you took it further than what anyone could have expected, given how the year started for you guys, back-to-back top 10 again, into facing G2 in finals, into today. How do you reflect on the year? It's been a long one, and of course, it's not easy ending it like this when you made it so far, but amazing turnaround for Excel and yourself.
Yeah, I mean, never would have expected, you know, to make it here, especially after double tent. I'm really grateful that you know, we showed up, we stepped up, we made something happen. In the end, it crashed. It crashed quite hard, and it sucks. But I'm happy we managed to spin it in a little bit of a more positive way than letting it crash and burn, because it would have been really easy for us to just sprint it down another split like we've been doing the first two ones, and everyone would have been a lot more upset, you know? I mean, there is some silver lining, but yeah, I think we could have made more happen. It's just sad that it didn't happen.
You keep on thriving in situations like this, though. Playing against odds, coming back, having the miracle runs and everything. How was this one different on a personal level?
Well, this one was harder than, I mean, you know, making finals after double tent is maybe the biggest achievement I've had. You know, even winning LEC, I feel like the amount of stress and how difficult everything was, you know, very out of this world. Because even when we did it in Schalke, we were like 1-8 or 1-10 or something like that. It didn't feel nearly as stressful, you know, because when the split starts and you know that if you don't make finals, you're out, it's kind of like tremendous pressure. So, yeah, I mean, I like playing League of Legends. I like competing, even if the situation sucks really hard. It's still kind of like on us to make the best, and maybe I'm a bit unlucky that I ended up in these situations a lot more often than maybe others, but yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. That's just how the game is.
Yeah, I think it's your way of seeing the competition and thriving through it. Of course, it means that the year ends for Excel here, but you had an insane amount of fans cheering for you, the team, and yourself as well. Thank you, Berlin. One last time, is there anything you would like to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my org's gonna hate me, but after 2x10, I was like, you know, we don't really have a lot of fans, but after we turned it around, there's been a lot more Excel voices. I'm really happy to have been, you know, a reason as to why that happened, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the future, because this off season is gonna be very long, and yeah, I just hope all the EU boys are gonna do great at Worlds. I hope Trimby does great, because I mean, he's the last one standing. You know, Koi went down, I went down, and yeah, it looks like Trimby was the worthy one. So yeah, I mean, I hope he's gonna do really well, and I hope all the EU boys do well, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
A message of hope for Europe and for you, Trimby, as well. Odo, thank you so much for the interview. We'll see you next year, of course.
Maybe.
Sharks, back to you.
Thank you. Maybe. Don't do that to us, Odo. Thank you, Laure. That was wonderful. Of course, commiserations to Excel, but as said, they definitely went far with how they started out the year. Trimby, you're getting, you know, Odo's sending you good luck. So basically, you have to beat Golden Guardians if you were to meet them, right?
Yeah. I saw they were already writing shit on Twitter.
They did, they were.
So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would like to go to Montpellier, so, you know, it would be nice if BDS takes them. But yeah, like, yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
I like that you keep mentioning it, because it's actually the first thing that comes up, and it's going to be so cool to go to Montpellier if you go to Montpellier for the season finals, but you're not there yet. So I want to talk about this BDS match in just a second. First, I want to take a look at the MasterCard play of the day, though, and it's Fnatic's Baron that led to the comeback in Game 5. Humanoid, you said, I don't remember anything of this game. Do you remember this?
Not really, but I mean, I can see the replay, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I was just perma-calling to fight. Basically. Yeah,
like my team is all just screaming. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just sitting, yeah.
What's going on in your mind if you hear all of them just yelling? You know, what are you thinking?
Well, I always try to just not listen to anything.
Just zone it out.
Yeah, I have no idea what anyone is saying, because everyone is screaming right now, just targets. I'm just like zoning off and focusing on my champion. That's it.
Prefer playing like this than like where you have to, like a Victor, let's say?
What do you mean?
Like, because here it's completely different, right? You can just like kind of focus on what's entirely ahead of you, as opposed to having to make or do an ultimate that hits like 3 or 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the same because usually with the carries, I just hit frontline anyway.
Yeah.
Even with Victor, so yeah, I don't really need to listen to what anyone is saying because I don't really have like a important CC or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay. Humanoid just doesn't listen and just makes it to Worlds every single time. Let's take a look at the bracket because it is Fnatic up versus Team BDS. That is next Saturday, and the winner of that will lock their spot to Montpellier. Roxa, what do you think is going to happen in that match?
I am really unsure, to be honest. And even though I have two Fnatic players sitting next to me, I have to admit it depends on what Fnatic they are gonna decide to bring versus
Yeah,
BDS.
that's the million-dollar question. What Fnatic?
There were a lot of question marks today, but there was also really good games towards the end. So I think if we're seeing the Fnatic we saw in game 4 or 5 that can actually play like a team and be a 5-man unit, maybe Fnatic would even have the advantage going into this one.
What do you guys think?
I also think that Fnatic might have the advantage. I think honestly that Excel is better than BDS, so if we won today, we should win next week too.
Wow.
Makes sense.
I agree with both speakers.
Okay, I like it.
I agree with both.
Okay, cool. We'll let you go in a sec. But Mad Lions versus G2 is then on Sunday to go as the first seed into Montpellier. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that one might be a bit rough for Mad Lions, but who knows? They took them out. What is it, like 1 split ago, 2 splits ago? So maybe they can do it again. But I would say that G2 are the favorites.
Derby?
Yeah, I think so too. I think Mad Lions will need to pull. I mean, they played better, right? Like than in last summer regular season. So maybe there will be some upsets. But yeah, G2 for sure looks strong, and Mad Lions needs to pull off quite a bit of stuff in order to compete against them. Okay,
Roxa, are you here next week?
No.
Then tell me how you think we will go into Montpellier. Who will be 1, 2, and 3?
I mean, 1, 2.
To be honest.
But in the order, right?
To be honest.
Smart ass.
I really, and I'm biased, but I want a Fnatic G2 final. I think that would be the ultimate hype for obvious reasons. So I'm kind of, I'll just be biased. I hope Fnatic goes all the way. It would be pretty fun.
But how are we going into it? Who will be first seed? Who's second?
They beat BDS.
So they'll be third seed.
Yeah.
First.
Well, I guess they would be third going into Montpellier. They would take down Matt. We have the Fnatic G2 final. That goes to 5 games. We had some silver scrapes in the arena.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty fun to me.
Sounds
we'll see what
fun.
happens.
Does sound fun. Oh, we wouldn't want to jinx anything over here. Okay, let's take a picture.
Okay.
And then we let you go. It's been a long day. Awesome. Thank you. That was all from us here. The elimination rounds will be back, of course, next week for the rest of the season finals, the last one before Montpellier, so we finally know who is going. But if you missed any of the action, the rebroadcast is starting shortly, and we'll be back on next Saturday, which Excel don't take stage, Fnatic take the stage, of course, versus BDS. We'll see you then.
Hello, LEC fans, I'm Roxa, and I'm here to talk to you about the caster curses. For you.
Oh, he's gonna that is a big, that's a big cupcake! Dash out, the footwork coming in. One man, one desire, he will get smoked down! He cannot hurt animals, but he will hurt men! Off to the side, the Brute now gonna connect the immediate follow, but now Oscar Rendon's in the backline, that's not what Odo wanted! The setup is clean from Fnatic, they see their opportunity, and they pounce. It is a double for Noah Peach, a dead man walking.
Okay, Patrick, I'm done. I'm not dying to it again.
That's a route there on the limit. He ain't got anybody to leap back to. The W not coming up nearly in time, and Peach flashing out to safety, but it might just be 3 because Razor wants to keep it going. Damn, you're scaling.
All right, you just try to stop short by a clear margin, but swing hard. You know what I mean? Just come here. So you're doing this, you're stopping.
Yeah.
You just full arm, but you stop. You know what I'm saying right there?
Yeah.
Just like I'm not touching you, but you got it, but hard.
Hey!
Kick. Don't hesitate.
Noah coming in as well, but Odoamne, the Meganar, moments away. Is he gonna find the angle? It's 4! I
don't think he should be able to find anything.
Oh, he just full commits!
I'm going through. Look, Jinx, kill Jinx. We got it. I think you guys play with Zeri, play with Zeri, play with Zeri. Good chase, good chase.
Nice. Let's go, I'm pushing top.
Nice.
I see he's there. Look Sion. Okay, go. Zeri. Zeri one. Look, Sebi. Nice. Okay, chill. We win.
We can win.
I can stop back.
I can win this, I can win. See, guys? You win.
No flash.
Nice! Let's f***ing go, boys.
Okay.
I'm hitting. Look, Sebi.
Nice. Let's go. Zeri. Get Sebi. Let's go. Let's go.
Nice!
Fucking hell, like, why is it so hard? Every year it's harder to do.
That was mega easy.